Hello. How are
Hi.
you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good, good. Come on in.
Got time to answer some questions before rehearsal?
I do.
Excellent. Thank you. So, what is your hometown?
So my hometown, I'm originally from Washington, D.C., but currently I live in Richmond, California, which is just in the East Bay of San Francisco.
How old were you when you decided you want to be in opera?
I don't know that I ever really decided. I found myself in opera. You know, I always just loved to sing, and I just kept singing for fun. And then one day I looked up and I was like, yeah, I think I'm an opera singer now.
Right? Who was your favorite teacher at any age?
Favorite teacher. So Carolyn Glover. She was my elementary school music teacher at Rudolph Elementary School in Washington, D.C. And this woman loved music more than anyone I've ever met. And she drafted me to be in a play about Mary McLeod Bethune. So sing my first role in elementary school. And it was all because of Carolyn Glover.
Wow. What is your favorite opera you've performed in the past 5 years?
Has to be Blue. Blue was written for me by Janine Tesori with libretto by Tazewell Thompson. And it totally changed my idea about the power of opera. Before Blue, I was just a performer, in the sense that I got on stage and played a role. After Blue, like I tried to embody a role. It was the first time I could really dig really deep and infuse some of my own life into a character. So Blue, by far, is that role for me.
What is your dream role?
Dream role. This is an interesting question. Before, if you asked me my dream role, I would say King Philip and Don Carlo. But after doing Blue, I realized that there's so much new music that should be written and is being written that I don't think my dream role has been written yet.
Very cool. If you could perform with any other singer, living or deceased, who would it be?
So Sam Raimi is God to me. And I listened to Sam Raimi all growing up, and whenever I have to learn something, I listen to Sam Raimi. And I got to do a Boris Godunov with him at San Francisco Opera when I was an Adler Fellow. So I performed with him. So outside of Sam Raimi, I would probably say, Paul Robeson. I don't think I don't know how much he's done on stage dramatically, but I would love to explore some things with that character and that energy on stage.
Yeah. What was the first opera you ever saw?
The first opera I ever saw was on VHS tape, and it was Pagliacci, Leoncavallo's Pagliacci, and it was the first time I really cared about a character. Like I saw Tony and I was like, what? Neda, what did you do? So yeah, Pagliacci was that. That's the opera that really got me hooked in.
Do you prefer comedy or tragedy?
Tragedy. I'm a bass.
You're bass. Best thing about being an opera performer?
Best thing. I get to escape a lot. I get to escape reality and explore a bunch of different sides of my personality, different sides of characters that I play. I love that exploration of the humanity in different parts of my psychology and person.
What's the most challenging thing about being an opera performer?
Being away from my family. That is the most challenging. I understand that it's a sacrifice to do what I love to do, but that is the hardest thing for me, is to say goodbye to my kids and my wife for a month at a time.
If you had to choose a different dream career, what would it be?
Different dreams career. So I had a taste of it a while back in the beginning of my career. I taught preschool for about 3 months in between programs, and it was the only other thing that I've ever tried in life that was as gratifying as singing. Those kids keep you on your toes all the time. It's constantly changing. There's so many different personalities that you're dealing with. So I would say, teaching early school.
Great. Couple of favorites. Favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie of all time? That's a tricky one. Probably say Malcolm X by Spike Lee. I think Denzel Washington did an amazing job playing that character, and just the arc of the whole movie, from him being a child to becoming Malcolm X. It was just perfect for me.
Favorite opera?
Favorite, well, Blue, of course. That's an easy one.
Favorite book of all time?
Favorite book of all time? Huh, that's a tricky one. What's the last book I've read? I've had my head in scores for so long, and now. Probably The Alchemist is a good one. Autobiography of Malcolm X, Alex Haley. Great.
Favorite song to blast in the car?
I don't know if I could say this one.
Oh, go for it.
It's a hip hop song. So, favorite song. So, Most Def, Umi Says is my favorite song. Just puts me in a mood that I can challenge and conquer the world.
Do you have any hobbies?
I'm a visual artist. So that's the only other hobby I find time for when I'm not singing or learning music. Being a visual artist is that thing that centers me.
What's your favorite beverage before you perform?
Coffee. I think I run on coffee.
Me too.
Yeah.
What about after?
Coffee.
What is the last thing you cooked?
The last thing I cooked. So I've recently discovered making eggs in the microwave. And it's become that thing. Like, I would have never considered making eggs in the microwave, but staying in the hotel, it's become my go-to thing.
Okay. What's the most exciting thing in your life right now?
My family, my kids. Watching them grow up and watching them develop into full-grown human beings is exciting to me.
And what is a cause that you are passionate about?
A cause that I'm passionate about. I'm finding that being... How should I frame this? Right now I'm fighting for artists. For artists to have a voice and have to say in their art and how their art is portrayed and how they're portrayed as artists. I think with the pandemic and the fallout of shows being canceled, I think we all realized that artists often get the short end of the stick when it comes to the arts. So right now I'm fighting for artists to be fully involved in the art that they make. Excellent.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
So this is a tricky one. So I have a friend who is kind of my Buddhist mentor, and he gave me this analogy of a cup. And he says, often we think of a cup just being a cup, but when we break down all the things that a cup can be, it can be more than just a cup. So this idea of letting things be all that they can be and not putting our limitations on them, it's kind of how I try to live my life, respecting everything for everything that it is and not putting my own limitations on what I believe they should be.
Very good advice. How did you meet your wife?
How would she say I met? So I first saw my wife in a coffee shop in San Francisco. I saw her and I thought she was absolutely stunningly beautiful, but I thought she was like 16. And then I saw her at San Francisco Opera. She was in the chorus of Porgy and Bess, and I was an Adler Fellow there. So I talked to a bunch of friends who I knew. I was like, who is that girl? And from there we met and we started talking, and she eventually became my wife.
All right, what's your favorite season of the year?
Favorite season? Not too cold, not too hot.
Sort of sounds like San Francisco weather in general.
Yeah, of course.
What's the scariest thing you've ever done?
Became a father.
What is the best vacation you've ever been on?
Vacation? What's vacation? I don't know vacation.
How do you start your day?
with coffee.
What makes you laugh?
What makes me laugh? My kids make me laugh. I have kind of a twisted sense of humor. I laugh at things that people really don't find funny because I like to dig into the layers of things that I don't know. My wife will laugh at a bunch of things and it's like, really? But yeah, I like to dig into the layers of humor.
What is the best compliment you've ever received?
The best compliment I've ever received. I wouldn't. It wasn't a verbal compliment. I think it was after a performance of Blue, a woman just came up to me and hugged me and started crying. Mm-hmm. That was it.
And then a final question, because I know you have rehearsal. How would you describe yourself in 3 words?
3 words. Workaholic, passionate, and coffee drinker.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
And have a wonderful rehearsal.
My pleasure.